Keep eating. I know there's people that get the salad. Stop going through the buffet line. Welcome, everybody. Everybody!
Hey!
There it is! Wake up! Welcome. Before we start, I would like Yvonne to tell us what she brought for dessert. Because it sounds wonderful, and I'm making my way back there as soon as I can.
Okay. Since it's officially fall now, and apples are in season, so what I've decided to do is have a thin cake layer, and on top of that put a scoop of ice cream, and then on top of that put the hot spiced apples. And there's nuts if you want nuts.
Thank you for taking care of us. Tim, could I ask you to do the invocation for us?
Let us pray. Lord God, thank you for this day and for your gifts, for this time to meet together, for the fellowship that we enjoy, and the friendship that you bring about among us. Thank you, O Lord, for the blessings we receive, for this food, and for all your gifts. We remember especially those affected by the hurricane. Keep them in your loving care, and be with all who offer their care and relief. For we trust in you, and we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Tim. Now, talking about the hurricane, David Spivey's not with us because he's a member of the Lee Society, and they go up every year to Gettysburg to clean the monuments. Guess what? This is the weekend. He's going to be wet because that thing looked like it's coming right up through the area that David will be in. So keep him in your thoughts.
5 to 10 inches is what I heard as I was coming in.
I think Yogi, and I didn't notice, because last week we had some issues with YouTube, as most everybody knows. Terry had to go off to a meeting, and who were you with again, Terry, last week?
Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Jackie Joyner Kersey. Wow. That was something that was very worthwhile for you to do, but all we got was the beginning of the meeting for YouTube and Jay's member moments, and it quit. And I thought it was because everybody was so impressed with Jay's member moments that everybody left. But then I found out that no, it was only an 8-minute video. And we're working on things that can give us some backup. So Doug Doris said he could turn the machine on and off. And so it looks like we'll have a backup. But Terry, tell us about Jackie Joyner Kersey. What was it that you were up there to see?
Well, she had the Boys and Girls Club up in Southern Pines.
Southern Pines.
Oh, Southern Pines?
Yeah, Boys and Girls Club. She came in and gave a speech, and after the speech, she did autographs and taking pictures.
Oh, cool. Yeah, very good. Okay.
Matter of fact, she told me to tell Lisa hi.
She knows me?
Yeah, she knows me very well.
From where?
You used to run together, don't you remember?
She said that little lady in YouTube be leaving in and out on the telephone all the time. I said, oh, that's Lisa. She said, tell her I said hi.
All right. Well, give her my number. And she can call me next time she's wherever.
Terry offered to post Jackie's talk on YouTube for us too, if you want to take a look at that. But I didn't know whether anybody brought up Yogi last week. Did we talk about it?
We did. We thought you were.
Thought you were the funeral.
Well,
We had you in our prayers last week.
yeah, thank you very much. It was very difficult. In fact, they had a private service yesterday, and Yankee Stadium will have a really, really important service for him this weekend. But his quote has got to be this one. And you heard it many times over the last week. Always go to other people's funerals, otherwise they won't come to yours. Member moments. I think it's really appropriate that we start off our second quarter of Rotary with our VP and David Morris giving the background so everybody knows what David's been doing and how he's going to be leading us next year. But David, M&M.
Starting out with the acts of kindness, I'm not really sure I really do anything as far as kindness goes, other than I did tell my wife I love her this morning, and I did hug my dog when I left. So, but I try to be as kind as I possibly can every day. So there's nothing that really jumps out. So.
Well, I got to tell you that I play tennis with this guy, and the people that he meets on the tennis court say he's the most friendly person that I've ever met. I said, he is, but he's very competitive too.
Very misleading. I was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina. My dad was an insurance adjuster, and we were living in Fayetteville at the time that I was born. But I grew up in Rockingham. Just had your normal childhood, played a lot of sports. I'm a sports guy. My wife is about to the point where she can deal with it, but she's not quite there yet. There was a time, though, that back during basketball season that she actually stayed downstairs with me for about 6 hours watching basketball games. I was expecting divorce papers, but I didn't see them. So, but I grew up down in Rockingham, played little league sports and all that kind of stuff, and played basketball and tennis in high school. After high school, I went to Wingate. It was Wingate College at the time, which is now Wingate University. I was 17 years old, extremely immature, and did not want to go to college. Mom and Dad told me I was going, and my first 2 years, they might have regretted that. I really went up there, and I really wanted to play tennis. And the first year and a half, they had this thing called academic probation. Well,
Was that a tennis ball?
man.
it was, I was at the top of that list. So after a year and a half, I matured a little bit and pulled my grades up and was able to play tennis for the last 3 years at Wingate. Enjoyed doing that. I was MVP my senior year just because I had a good year, and I had a freshman doubles partner, which I really hated that we weren't the same age because he was a fine young talent. He was fun to play doubles with. Came to find out about 6 years after college he had passed away, and so that was tragic in itself, but it was great to play with him. I was 6'2", he was about 6'4", and he was a serve volleyer, and we really played well together. So after my 4 years at Wingate, I wouldn't like Jay. I didn't go 7, but it might have been 4.5. So after my 4.5 years at Wingate, my goal was, being a sports guy, I wanted to go work for Converse. I was going to sell tennis shoes. And back at the time, Converse was a big company. I had 2 interviews with them, and I was going for my 3rd interview. And the day before my 3rd interview, the guy that I was interviewing with was fired. And they did a huge reorganization, and I didn't go to work for Converse. So my dad and I opened up a sporting goods store. And we had that for 28 years down in Rockingham. It was where I wanted to be. I enjoyed it. We had a good thing going. 2008, the economy kind of went south. Business was stable, and to get it back to where it was, I was just too old. I just didn't have the energy to go back to the way it was, and so we sold it to a young guy. And for the next 3 years, I hope it goes well because he still paid me for it. So anyway, that's kind of where I was. After I sold it in 2010, I sat down with my dad and I said, "Pop, what am I going to do?" He said, you tell me. And I said, you know, I think I'm gonna get my insurance license. He said, well, if you do that, make sure you get them all. And so I did that. And if I'd have been a smart guy, which I've never been accused of, I would have done this 20 years ago and just taken over his agency. But I'm where I'm supposed to be here for a reason, so that's why it's not how I wound up at Sanford. I wound up at Sanford because of the lovely and talented Tony Davenport. Married her, and she brought me up here, and it was a very good move on my part. My family, like I said, my dad was an insurance adjuster until 1972 when he got tired of moving. He went in with an agency there in Rockingham. My mom was a homemaker, and after all the kids were raised, she opened up a preschool for 4-year-olds. So she did that for 10, 15 years. I have 4 brothers and a sister, and growing up, that's where I got my competitiveness from. Even at the dinner table, it was competitive. So that was pretty good. My sister, who was the youngest, was the best athlete of all of us. She wound up going to UNC Wilmington on a basketball scholarship. Played there 4 years, still holds 1 or 2 records, free throw percentage, maybe field goal percentage, things like that. So Big Brother really did a good job teaching her how to play. She has 3 kids. Her oldest daughter, Jamie, is a senior at Liberty University. She got a basketball scholarship at Liberty. She plays there. Been fortunate to go see her play a few times. They play at Campbell, they play at High Point. This year they're playing at Duke on the 17th of December, so I'll be able to go up and watch her play there. Her brother, Matthew, plays basketball at Vanderbilt. He got a full ride there. He was a freshman last year, had a very good season. Really enjoyed watching him play, and again, I attribute that to Uncle Dave for teaching his mother how to play, which carried on down to him.
We watched him at bats, didn't we? Was that a postseason game?
Yeah. So that's my brothers. My family now is, I'm married to Tony. We have 4 kids. I have 2, she has 2. And we have 3 grandkids, which are just cool. They're just the coolest things in the world. And the love that Tony has for them and that I have for them, it's just, it's great, and it's great to have them on the weekends when they come down. What you may not know about me, and like I told you, I am a sports guy, but I love the arts. I do. I love music. I love theater. I love getting into actual paintings and things like that. I don't do any of it, but I enjoy it. Tony and I last night went to Deepak to see the musical Beautiful about Carole King, and it was fabulous. It really is. My musical tastes run the gamut. I'm a huge Springsteen fan.
Yeah.
Huge Springsteen fan. We are going next Wednesday to see Jackson Brown at Deepak. I love Jackson Brown.
For this guy.
Carole King, I like her. And I also go off too. I like the Foo Fighters, I like Green Day, I like people like Little Feat. Probably never heard of them, but I'm in that same age group. I joined Rotary the first time, I think in 2000, down in Rockingham. There was something that I was missing. I was involved in Little League sports, and I was involved in church with kids and things like that. But once my kids grew up, there was just something that I was missing. And so Rich Larson asked me to join the Rockingham Rotary Club, which I did, and really fell in love with it. I like the organization and what we do, and that's how I started in the Rotary Club there. When I moved to Sanford, Larry got me on the tennis courts, and I told him that I was interested, and after about 1.5 years, I finally agreed to join this.
Now, and Yvonne at the barber shop.
That's right, and Yvonne, that's right.
Not the barber shop.
I thought it was-
Beauty shop.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did you tell him I was getting home?
I didn't recognize you at first, David.
I know. My hair was darker then. Wow moments. I didn't really have a lot of wow moments until later on. And this is a wow moment that happened after the fact. In the sporting goods business, they have this huge sporting goods show down in Atlanta every year, and I'd always go. And all the manufacturers would bring in their celebrities to come in and work the booths and talk and stuff like that. I mean, the Spalding booth had Dr. J, Larry Bird, Magic, and the Reebok booth had Joe Montana and all the big guys. But I was at the Mizuno booth, and Dan Quisenberry was in there. Quisenberry pitched for the Kansas City Royals, submarine pitcher. And it was a very sparse crowd, so he and I actually had a conversation about his career, and he started asking about my business. And it was such a down-to-earth conversation with him. Of course, I got his little picture autograph. Well, 4 or 5 years later, he died of a brain tumor. And so when I read that, my wow moment came. I said, wow, I was, just in that moment with him. So that was pretty cool. Heroes, I really don't have a lot of heroes. I admire a lot of people, but I would like to think that I am part of a group of people that are heroes. I think the Jonesboro Rotary Club is a hero to the Haven, to CUOC, the Breadbasket, the Boys and Girls Club. So if you think of heroes, just think about it, because I think that is what heroes are all about. So, thank you.
There you go. Here's your M&M.
Very much.
We were talking about this when I was up at the district conference, and I think some other clubs are gonna try to do this. Because even though we think we know one another pretty well, it's really neat to be able to have 5-10 minutes listening to some of the background and finding out a little bit more about one another. And just to piggyback on what David said, I was looking to do something for Rotarian of the month for September. It goes to everybody. As far as I'm concerned, what we did with the barbecue, everyone deserves, because everybody had a part of that. And so, could you give yourself a hand for being Rotarian of the month? Just real quickly, Pots of Gold tickets will be available next week. I hope that in the first month we'll sell $300 worth, the second month another $300, and then the balance of $400 over the next couple of months. And what does this do for us? Think about it. We have hardly been able to fund anything until it gets to the end of the year. Under this new concept that we have, and what we did with the barbecue, obviously, there's $2,500 that we haven't been able to give away before because we did something early in the year. So we're going to be doing Pots of Gold that raises money starting in October and goes all the way into the early part of next year, and we'll raise somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000. Now, obviously, we have expenses out of that, but we'll net at least 10, probably around 12, and be able to be able to give some of that away earlier in the year. And I think that's amazing. When a need comes up, we don't have to wait now until May or June to try to satisfy that need. We can step in and do it almost immediately. So I want to thank Van for his work in that, and Kevin to get the Pots of Gold started, and we'll pass out the tickets next week. Character Plus, moving very well. We won't spend a lot of time there, but I know we have a lot of help with that. And I wanted to recognize Arnie Cresper, who's sitting back here next to Andy. Arnie's here as our guest. Now, we hope eventually Arnie will think about becoming a Rotarian, but actually he's working with us on a very regular basis because he's a mentor out at Greenwood. And
Andy's a good one.
Andy is one of the best. If you listen to what AJ, the counselor out there, has to say about what Andy has done with some of those kids, and one of them in particular, she really thinks Arnie saved this kid's life. It may not be today, but later down the road, I mean, he was on a path to go the wrong way. And Arnie changed the path. So please recognize. Thanks, Arnie. Now think about Rotary, and we'll be talking to you. Salvation Army dinner, absolutely wonderful. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there, but about 400 other people did. It turned out to be a really good event. I was so pleased for Chris. I think he's still in bed because he worked his tail off to make that happen. Sign up for the cookbooks. Has the cookbook sign up thing been around to everybody?
No.
And please, and the information was on the back. I didn't mention that before, but the information on the back. And we have an opportunity to do it next week, and then we have to turn that in. New member applications. I need an okay for Rob. Dana, goes like this. Rob, Dana, and Roberto Montero, who will be joining us fairly soon. In fact, in Dana's case, I thought Dana, because I was at the district meeting last week, I thought Dana was going to come last week. And then when we decided that, when Daniel came in, hey, let's take advantage of this and we'll get Dana to join today, because she'll have that 7-day period from the time she's introduced the club to the time she's joined. But she couldn't, she had a conflict too last week. So Dana, the club just okayed you. And I got all the stuff right here. If you want to try the t-shirt on later on, and we're going to order new sizes, so if that small is too small, let me know.
Thank you.
But come back next week.
I will.
Okay. Okay. And Kendra was going to come today too, but you know, this is the United Way time, and she's so busy with Volunteer Lee and United Way. All her stuff is sitting here every week. And by the 15th of October, Tim, we think maybe Kendra can come. Are you taking takeouts to her by any chance, just to keep moving?
I'll let her know we're ready.
I'll cover this next week, but Edwards has asked us to usher for a special program they're going to be doing at Depot Park on the 7th of November. It's to honor veterans, and they want us in our t-shirts to usher as many people as we can get there, because this is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a really nice way to honor our veterans in this area. And there's a band coming in.
What are they doing for veterans?
There's a musical program that they're putting on. They may be doing some skits. There's a band coming in from Bragg that's going to be there. It's going to be, and we'll get all the details, but I don't want to take too much time. But I just want to let you know, we've been asked, because of our involvement with the community came back and said, will you do this? And I said, certainly, and we have our t-shirts to be able to do it. Belks, do you want to talk about Belks for a second?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I passed out, some of you weren't here yet. This is twice a year. You pass out 3 tickets to people with your name on it. If you sell some, that's good. If you don't, that's good also. All the sales, the money comes here to the club, and you get to use the ticket for the purchase at Belks. So this is November 7th. It's a month from now. I wanted to pass them out because we're going to go to the Midwest for a few weeks.
Yeah, we have the Veterans Program in the morning, we go shopping in the afternoon.
That's right.
Or you
No,
get
it's in the morning.
Shop in the morning and go to the Veterans.
Before the veterans program starts.
Okay. Board meeting right after this, and Van. Did you finish?
Yes,
Did I try
sir.
to give
Yes,
you
sir.
that?
Yeah. Well, Jay's not here today, so I don't know. Somebody said I had to do that too, but hey, all right, we got it filled out. Okay, good. Okay. Today we have a couple of visitors. We have Dana Ellis Petty, who is a prospective member. She's a guest of John Ramsberger's. We have Ashley Hinman, San Lee Club member, who's a guest of the club today, and also Arnie Chrisberg. We've already recognized Arnie, but let's give them a big round of applause. Andy, you have an announcement today.
This is for the Lee County Art Council's major fundraiser, their Shared Abundance Dinner. It's Sunday, November 1st, from noon to 4 and it's $15. We have soup, salad, entertainment, bread. The Temple teens will be entertaining, and you get to take a handmade pottery bowl home with you. Tickets are $15. I have the tickets, and you'll be hearing more about the Arts Council and this shared abundance, I promise you, before it comes.
Okay, I forgot to mention a couple other guests we have today. We have Kate Bromley.
Oh,
Honorary member Kate, and also let's Brian. Brian Smith. Yes, let's give him a round of applause. And any other announcements coming for the club at this time? How
I don't
about
think we let
Brad?
Brian out without putting the pin back on. We remember.
We'll be working.
Oh, I have a brag.
What you got, Lisa?
Okay, I have a brag. So, yesterday, a guy who you won't know who he is, but his name's Charles Beatty, and he's like the biggest thriving producer like in like on the East Coast. Okay, I know who he is because when all the stats come out every week, he's at the top of the list every time. So I see his name and his happy little face all the time. Yesterday, this is the brag part. He called me to ask my advice about my laptop that I use because he was considering also getting one. So that is my brag. Charles Beatty, the Great Beatty, as us lowly newbies call him, the Great Beatty, called me for my advice on my laptop. We also discussed LinkedIn and social media strategies. So yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Stacy, you got something you want to brag on?
I do. It's really neat to hear about Arnie Kreisberg and the differences that he makes, and if it weren't for him, there wouldn't be a lot of these benefits. And Arnie, a couple years ago, I don't know if he wants me to say this or not, but had a heart attack on the tennis courts. And if it weren't for the people at Carolina Trace coming with the defibrillator and all that, he might not be here with us today.
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay, I got to brag. Made it to the car show and back. Got a little wet, tipped a few, but I did make it back for my daughter's white coat ceremony.
Yes.
Very nifty. Only the second group to ever receive that recognition in the state of North Carolina, I believe. I believe Chapel Hill is the only school in North Carolina that does it. But it's in about 100 different schools in the United States. But this is only the second time UNC Chapel Hill has awarded the white coat ceremony. My daughter was a recipient of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Real proud of it. And anything else?
I'll do a brag.
All right, Daniel.
Yesterday, my wife and I were sitting in Robert Gilliland's office, and we closed on a brand new house.
I
got one more.
Yeah, Nolan.
I don't know how it slipped my mind. I've been gone for a couple of weeks, but grandfather for the 6th time, two Thursdays ago. So it's been a little while, but 3 weeks now.
Fantastic. Back to you, President Larry.
Check it in.
Who said tennis wasn't a stressful sport? Today's program is Daniel Simmons. He's CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Sanford-Lee County. He's a native of southern Randolph County. He moved to Sanford 2 years ago from Charlotte, where he lived and worked for 9 years. During that time, Daniel began his career journey in nonprofit work, working in youth and music ministries at the Salvation Army Divisional Headquarters in Charlotte. And just before relocating to Sanford, he served as the executive director of the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Clubs of Gaston County. Before taking his current position, he had successful tenures in the staffing and recruiting industry and as assistant manager at Sam's Club. Daniel holds a Master's of Science degree in HR Management and holds a national certification in Human Resources with the Society of Human Resource Management. He served as club secretary with the Sanford Rotary Club, serves as the program director for Central Carolina Society for HR Medicine, and is an active trumpet player in the area with Lee County Community Orchestra, Greg Gill, and the Heart of Carolina Jazz Orchestra, and with area churches. He is also a member of the 2016 class of Leadership Sanford. Daniel recently married Jessica Travisino, a Sanford girl and middle school band director in Moore County. They live in Sanford with their dogs, Ellington and Daisy, and a cat named Copeland. Copeland.
Yes.
Boys and girls, Daniel Simmons.
I send you Rotarian greetings from that other club, Sanford Rotary Club, and thank you for having me here today. I'm going to try to pack this in the next 10 minutes. I've been in my post for just sort of 90 days, and a couple of things I've learned. Folks don't know that the Boys and Girls Club are here, and the other thing I've learned is that they know what we are, but they don't necessarily know who we are. So what I want to give you today is just a high-level overview of what we're trying to accomplish for the youth here in Lee County. So our mission is to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. Notice that I did underline the word all. We do target disadvantaged, at-risk youth, but we welcome anybody that wants to come in the door. We don't turn anyone away. So what are our core beliefs? We believe that Boys and Girls Clubs provide a safe place to learn and grow, ongoing relationships with caring adult professionals, life-enhancing programs and character development experiences, and hope and opportunity. And that's Dana there in the picture. So a little bit about our history. We're over 150 years old, and a lot of folks don't know that. The Boys and Girls Club, the first Boys and Girls Club started in 1860 with 3 women in Hartford, Connecticut. And basically, they saw kids walking around kicking cans, breaking windows, and getting into trouble. They saw boys getting into trouble in the streets. So what they did was they started a home, a place to come after school, and the first club was born. So some of our history highlights. In 1906, several Boys and Girls Clubs decided to affiliate, and the Federated Boys Clubs in Boston was formed with 53 member organizations. And this marked the start of a nationwide movement in our national organization. And in 1931, the Boys and Girls Club Federation of America became Boys Clubs of America. In 1956, Boys Clubs of America celebrated its 50th anniversary and received a U.S. congressional charter. And in 1990, to recognize the fact that girls are part of the cause, the Boys Club of America was changed to Boys and Girls Clubs of America. And accordingly, Congress amended and renewed the charter. And during that time, we also got a new nationwide CEO. Her name was Roxanne Spillette, first woman CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs. And we saw unprecedented growth and support from across the country under Roxanne's leadership. And we owe her a debt of gratitude for all of her work. In 1995, a band of concerned, motivated citizens came together to raise money for and build the Boys and Girls Clubs of Sanford and Lee County. And the operation began without any capital debt. And I count myself very privileged to know a few of those folks that were in the trenches, getting their hands dirty, starting our organization here in Lee County. And in 2006, that marked the centennial year of the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. So why are we here? Well, here are 3 reasons why we're here. From 3 o'clock until 7 p.m., juvenile crime escalates exponentially. We know that, that's a fact. We also know that 3 out of 10 kids won't graduate on time. That's a tremendous issue. And we also know that 15.1 million kids across the nation are left unsupervised every single day after school. So what are we doing about it? What you see here is an equation. It's called our formula for impact. We take the young people that need us the most, and we provide a series of elements: fun, supportive environment, high expectations, opportunities, high yield activities, and targeted programs that really target the needs of the children. And also regular attendance. We want our kids to come every single day. And we've measured it. We know when our kids come every single day, there's much more impact and there's much more life change. We have 3 priority outcomes for every kid in the club. Academic success. We want every kid in the club to leave, to first of all, graduate from high school, and 2, graduate from high school with a plan to either go into the military, to go into a vocational or community college, or go into a 4-year college. Good character and citizenship. We want every kid to be an engaged citizen. We want them to be registered to vote, and we want them to model good character to other kids in the community. And healthy lifestyles. We want our kids to do better than us. We want them to know what it means to be well, to exercise, to eat right. I'll show you a quick little video here that'll give you kind of a tour of what everyday life is like in a club. If I can get my mouse to agree. Here we go. So a short little video, but everything you saw in that video, from the computer lab to the games room to the basketball gym to the cooking club that was going on, that happens right here in your Boys and Girls Club locally. Every bit of that. So what are some of the issues at hand that we're trying to tackle? First of all, 15 to 20% of school-age children have reading problems. And among low-income families, the number is likely higher. Children do not outgrow poor reading. 74% of readers in 3rd grade are still poor readers in 9th grade, and the gap widens over time. Dropout rates for students with disabilities range from 16 to 84%, and in North Carolina, it's currently 43%. 85% of juvenile offenders often have reading difficulty. And some of you may not know this. Some states base long-range budget predictions for prison construction on the reading scores of 2nd graders.
Say that again.
Some states base long-range productions for prison budgets or prison construction on reading scores of 2nd graders. And for every African-American male who graduated from college in 2005, 240 entered the penal system.
Wow.
But the good news is that we're here fighting for all of this. And things like our literacy program are there to make sure that we can combat these issues. Here's a few of the things that we do on the academic front. Power Hour is our daily homework help and tutoring program. We also have Project Learn. Project Learn is really neat because what it involves just everyday practical activities that we do in the club, and integrating and reinforcing what the kids learn during the day at school. So it could be something as simple as a relay race while the kids are naming the presidents of the United States. Just something fun and practical so that they're learning, but sometimes they don't realize it. The St. Augustine Literacy Project is a program that we have here in Sanford, and it's unique to us. It's the only one in a club that I know of, and it's coordinated by Miss Barbara Yuskovich, and it's housed over at St. Thomas Episcopal Church. This literacy program targets kids that are 2 to 3 years behind in grade level or in reading level. And each of them are paired with a personal tutor. And over the 52 sessions, the average increase in reading level is 1.7 years. It's a pretty big impact. We also do STEM activities at the club. I know nothing about STEM. The kids are way smarter than I am. I'm going to skip a video since we're short on time. So what's some of the proof that we've gotten nationally from our alumni? 62% of our alumni in a Harris survey said that the Boys and Girls Club helped them commit to their education. Also, 90% of the club alumni reported that they earned a high school diploma or equivalent. Good character and citizenship. This is another one of our key outcomes, and we have 3 programs that really hone in on that outcome. The first one is the Youth of the Year program, which the Youth of the Year for nationally was actually just announced yesterday, and it was a young lady from the Southeast. Every club, through a nomination and a selection process, names a Youth of the Year. That club member goes on and competes at the state level, then at the regional level, and then at the national level. The 4 finalists get to go to the White House and meet with the President of the United States, and the winner gets $50,000 to go to college. Torch Club and Keystone Club are both service clubs where we get the kids engaged in community projects. You can see them here out in front of the club taking care of the grounds. Sometimes they visit nursing homes, things like that. And we've got some other good things lined up for them this year to get out in the community and give back. So what do our alumni tell us about the good character and citizenship programs at the club? Well, 85% of them said that the club taught them right from wrong. 67% of the alumni said that the club helped them stay out of trouble with the law. And then on the wellness front, the healthy living front, we know right now that 3 out of 10 kids are obese or overweight, and it's an epidemic, just like high blood pressure, heart disease, you name it. So we have targeted programs for the children to make sure that they learn skills like how to prepare foods at home and try not to eat out so much. I hide my cookout cups when I come into the office. I'm just kidding, I try not to do that too much. We have Smart Moves and Smart Girls. Both of those programs just target making good decisions in everyday life. Resisting drugs, resisting alcohol, resisting premarital sex, things like that. Triple Play is a game plan for the mind, body, and soul, and really kind of attacks, or not attacks, but really approaches the child from a holistic view to make sure that they're healthy all around. And you see the kids there at the bottom, they're participating in the cooking club at the club there. I'm going to skip that video. 80% of club alumni said that the club had a positive impact on their attitudes toward fitness and health. We've already talked about a few stats, so I'll skip forward. So what's some of the local data? So here in Lee County, in our Boys and Girls Club organization, according to our most recent annual report, we had 1,144 registered members. 57% are males, 43% are female, 43% of youth are served from single-parent households. 67.3% qualify for free or reduced lunch. The kids pay, or the parents pay $52 a year for them to attend the club. So it's $1 a week to attend, And then over the summer, we do run an all-day summer camp that goes from, was it 6:30 in the morning until about 7 at night? Yeah, 6 at night, and it's $25 per week for summer camp. And then you see the ethnicities as well. Here's the most impactful statistic. 57% of the alumni said that the club saved their life. So how can you help? This is a very quick video, and we're almost done. And it won't let me play it. I guess we won't watch the video. So how can you help? We can always use volunteers for our Power Hour program, volunteer tutors to help with the St. Augustine Literacy Program, community professionals who can implement or help implement programs at the club, guest speakers, and then of course financial contributions to help sustain the club. If I could leave you with just a handful of things today, one of those things on the handful would be this. We are part of a national organization, a very big national organization, but we are locally owned and operated. So I feel like just in my short time that the community, those who do know about us, that do know who we are, have the perception that there's sort of this funnel of money that we always get, that we're on cruise control, and that we don't have anything to worry about. And that's, financially that's not the case. We depend heavily on our local community for operating funds. So just want you to know that. And then I've got Dr. Brian Smith here, who's one of our board members and chairs our fundraising committee. And he's going to talk to you a little bit about an event that we have coming up.
You get t-shirts now.
Hey, we'll get you a t-shirt.
Sign me up.
Hey, we got it on camera.
You got it. Great to be back. It's been a long time. It's great to be here with you guys, and thank you so much for having us. I'll just say a few quick words about our fundraiser that's coming up. October 22nd, it's going to be at the Civic Center, and it's a live auction, silent auction, carnival games, and the thing that's kind of unique about what we're doing, we're having our club kids be there at the fundraiser, so it's a way to link our donors and sponsors with the kids that they're directly helping. So it's a way to say thanks for your support. It's another way to say, hey, we've got a bunch of great kids here in the club, and this is what your support means. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'd love to see you guys there. We really appreciate any support. So again, it's 5:30. It's casual, low key. We're serving you dinner. The other thing that's a little unique too, about this fundraiser, you're going to sit down and eat dinner with other adults, but you're also going to have club kids sitting with you. So it's a family style thing to reflect the family oriented nature of the club. So we're looking forward to it. What did I miss in that 1 minute overview?
You didn't miss a thing.
Could I ask a couple questions? You said about 1,400 kids, I think. How many kids are out there in the Lee County that are you getting? What percentage are you getting of the kids out there that need help?
I'm going to defer to maybe Dana or Daniel on that.
I have no idea how many kids are in the county, but I can tell you that we have waiting lists at both clubs. We're just at maximum capacity.
Is that because of funding or just size?
I would say it's more of a safety issue. We just, with the amount of staff that we have right now, we just can't take any more kids and do it safely. And that's something that we take very important. It's very important to us.
So do you have professional staff and mentors, volunteers? And do you need more volunteers, I assume?
I consider all my staff club professionals. A lot of them have degrees, associate degrees, bachelor's degrees. We're very short on volunteers. We're so thankful for the volunteers that we have. But Dana can tell you, she's really much more on the front lines than I am, but especially with the whole tutoring thing, with the power hour every day, just coming in and having a child read to you, just having them read to you is incredibly impactful on that child, and it helps them intellectually. and it's 30 minutes a week. And we really, really need more support in that area as well.
Daniel, Brad, thank you very much for coming. Dana, yes.
Well, how much does it cost to go to the event on the 22nd?
I've got that, we're gonna be covering it at the board meeting, but, you can expect that we're gonna be buying 8 tickets, we'll take a table one way or another. We're gonna be there to support you. And what we're doing as a club, I think, is so important because we've got the Y, we've got the Salvation Army, we've got Boys and Girls Club as of next week. I'm missing one, Boy Scouts. We've got the youth, and we're here to support the youth as much as we can, both in terms of our money and our time. And it comes about so much better when we have connections from the clubs like we are doing now. And we have wonderful connections, so we really appreciate the way you're reaching out. And Daniel just said that several of his executives are going to go, maybe both Kiwanis clubs?
I'm going to have a person in both Kiwanis clubs. I'm in Sanford Rotary. Dana's going to be in your Rotary. I've got folks in JC.
Very, very smart. Very, very smart.
Trying to spread around a little bit.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
We do give all our speakers, we have a donation that goes to Polio Plus because you know the program, and we will conquer polio. And thank you very much. It goes in your name.
Hey, Larry, let me just say, the fundraiser that they're having, it's a neat event. It really is. Found out last year, you interact with the kids from the club, and it's amazing to see what they're doing with those groups. So if you get a chance to go, you should go, because it is, it's laid back, it's a lot of fun, there's a lot of games.
We'll talk some more about it at the board meeting, but we will be represented for sure. And a couple other notes. Will can't do M&M for next week because he's going to be out of town. Robert, could you do the M&M moments for next week? Will you be here?
Yes.
Good, okay. Everybody wants to be here when Robert does the M&M moments. So get in here early to get your seat. And let's do the raffle.
All right. Yeah, Daniel's a phenomenal musician, so I appreciate you contributing to the music scene here. Both of these guys are phenomenal kayakers. I've seen them a few times on the river this year.
We love it.
Yeah, we got some deep pockets today at $78. The highest it's been in a while.
Oh, wait a minute, could I have mine back?
And the winner is 774, the last three.
You said 774?
I did.
Oh,
That's awesome.
And we'll close with the four-way test, which, Danny, you're going to have to do. But wait a second. I want to say thank you to everybody that came because we have a whole bunch. Brian, thanks for coming. And yes, there are T-shirts for you. Daniel, thank you for being here. Dana, thanks for being here. Kate, so good to see you.
Thank you.
Whenever you can. You'll be back here with us. Ashley, unbelievable to have you with us. And you're welcome anytime. Arnie, who have I missed? Okay, now Dana, who has heard about the four-way test through Daniel, will now lead us in the four-way test because she's going to know it perfectly by next week. Go ahead.
Okay. The four-way test, the things we think, say, or do. First.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's good to see you.